The time is 6:15. Here's the news edited by Dulmin Samrasingha, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Sri Lanka gets priority when supplying corona vaccine manufactured by India. India prepares to assist in Sri Lanka's vocational training programs. Sri Lanka and India focus on multiple areas of mutual cooperation. The Health Ministry decides on a priority list of recipients of the coronavirus vaccine. School students will be provided with uniforms for the new year as soon as the schools are opened. Foreign news: India calls poultry amidst fear of bird flu. Sports news: cricket. England's touring party in Sri Lanka passes coronavirus tests. Local news in detail. The Health Ministry has decided on a priority list of the recipient of the coronavirus vaccine, which consists of the vulnerable groups. Among the recipients identified are people above 60 years of age, frontline workers and others. Consultant epidemiologist at the Health Ministry, Dr. Deepa Gamage, said that the first set of recipients of the vaccine will depend on the vaccine quantity. Sri Lanka is to receive the vaccine through the COVAX program of the World Health Organization to administer to 20% of the population. Dr. Deepa Gamage said that the vaccine for 20% of the population will be received in 2 stages. She said that the first set of recipients will depend on the initial quantity of the COVID vaccine which Sri Lanka will receive. Dr. Gamage said that private sector involvement to import and sell the vaccine has also not been ruled out. She said that Pfizer-BioNTech is the only vaccine approved so far by the World Health Organization for emergency use. Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that Sri Lanka and India focused on multiple areas of mutual cooperation in the identified sectors of economics, finance, trade, commerce, defense, security and fisheries, cultural, and particularly on the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the post-COVID era. He expressed gratitude for the tremendous support India extended during the past several months to mitigate the adverse impact of the COVID pandemic. The statement issued following bilateral talks with the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jayasankar today also said that India government's neighbourhood first policy made a very positive impact on Sri Lanka's health sector and the economy during the unprecedented crisis, and also assistance to repatriate Sri Lankans, pilgrims, students, and medically concerned. He said Sri Lanka delegation sought India's partnership for economic revival, stability through enhanced investment in different sectors of the economy. The foreign minister said that they discussed defense and security-related matters, as well as issues related to maritime and fisheries sectors. Minister Gunawardena further said both countries agreed to continue current momentum, coordinated and close dialogue in these areas, and also to curb illegal activities and continued cooperation in the BIMSTEC, IORA and SAARC. India's offer of $15 million to restore Buddhist heritage will be utilized through mutual consultations. He thanked India for constructing the Jaffna Cultural Centre at the cost of $11 million. The Amendment Bill of Criminal Evidence and Bail Laws were passed in Parliament today. Presenting the bill for the debate, Minister Ali Sabri said that amendments to the bills expect to update laws in the country. The minister said that attention has been paid on amending Muslim marriage law. 3 committees had been appointed to amend criminal, civil and commercial laws. The Justice Minister said that a program is underway to computerize the judicial sector. Minister of Education Professor J.L. Pires says that school students will be provided with uniforms for the new year as soon as the schools are opened. The minister was replying to an oral question in Parliament today. The opposition leader Sajid Premadasa accused that the school students had not been issued uniforms so far. Minister J.L. Perez pointed out that it is not practical to provide uniforms without opening the schools. He said that all textbooks will be given to students as soon as the schools are opened for the new year. However, he said that all textbooks from grade 1 to 11 have been uploaded to the official website of the Ministry of Education. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with local news, the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, TRCSL, yesterday issued a reminder requesting the public to check with TRCSL for its approval when buying new mobile phones. The TRCSL requested the public to verify with its approval by simply sending the IMEIO IMEI number to 1909. Approval must be obtained from TRCSL to import, bring any kind of mobile phones or communication devices which are connected to any cellular network by inserting a subscriber identity module, SIM. This would not apply to the telecommunication equipment operated with the SIM card, which is already connected in the cellular mobile operator's network. There is no need to re-register. TRCSL approved phones with the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka. The Commissioner General of the Buddhist Affairs says that all Buddhist Sunday Dharma schools in the country, except for those located in the isolated areas, will be opened on 17th of this month. Sunday Dharma schools were closed island-wide on 5th October in the wake of the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka. Alagaratnam Manoranjan, the accountant of the internally displaced persons resettlement project, who is one of the accused in the case pertaining to the alleged misuse of buses belonging to the state-owned Sri Lanka Transport Board during the 2019 presidential election, has been granted bail. He was produced before Colombo Fort Magistrate Priyantha Fernando today. The case has been scheduled to be taken up again on the 27th of March. Former Old Ceylon Makkal Congress MP Abdullah Muhammad Maharoof, who was arrested over a case of misuse of property belonging to Lanka Sathosa, has been released on bail. On 14th of this month, former Deputy Minister Maharoof and former General Manager of the Sathosa Muhammad Aslam were arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department over misuse of vehicles belonging to Lanka Sathosa during the 2015 and 2019 period. Magistrate Priyantha Fernando also suspended the passports of the two suspects. The case was postponed to 24th of March. ETI Director Nalaka Indrasi, the fourth suspect in the Swarna Mahal Jewellers Limited case, has surrendered to the Criminal Investigation Department this morning. Attorney at law representing Nalaka Indrasi said his client could not surrender yesterday due to health reasons. Diplomat and well-known political critic Dr. Dhayan Jayathi has been appointed as the senior advisor on international affairs to opposition leader and Samakhi Jana Balavegi leader Sajid Premadasa. That came to you on local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Another phase of housing program to make a happy family, as mentioned in the Vistas of Prosperity manifesto of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, commenced in Paliyagoda. State Minister Nalaka Godaheva attended the event yesterday as the chief guest. The housing complex that is being built in Paliagode is consisted of 384 housing units. The project targets low-income families. That came to you on Main News Story.
The Main News Story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight Management from the Wild 101 Lessons Learned, authored by Wilfred Sarath Eranga Pereira, will be launched on Saturday amidst an open gathering at the One Goalface lobby. The event will be held One Goalface Mall and is anticipating guests to join the launch from all sectors adhering to the health protective measures. Throughout the day at the One Goalface lobby, there are numerous events and talks scheduled. That came to you on Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News. Here are the headlines of the World News. India calls poultry amid fears of bird flu. Tokyo daily coronavirus cases hit record as state of emergency looms. China says it will respond to planned Taiwan US defense talks. World News in detail. India has begun calling tens of thousands of poultry birds after wild geese, crows and ducks across the country tested positive for avian flu. Officials first detected the H5N8 strain a week ago after flocks of birds were found dead in various states. The federal government has issued a high alert asking states to take urgent measures to curb the spread. While most strains are low risk to humans, people are advised not to touch dead or visibly sick birds. Tokyo reported a record 1,591 new coronavirus cases today, as Japan's government faces increasing pressure from health experts to impose a strict state of emergency for the greater metropolitan area. Rising infections have driven Tokyo and surrounding areas to the highest level of a 4-stage alert, promoting and prompting regional governors to urge for a declaration of emergency that Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga is expected to announce tomorrow. China said today it would make a necessary response to a planned military dialogue between the United States and Chinese claimed Taiwan, saying it firmly opposed the event. China has been angered by stepped up support for the domestic island by the outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump's administration, including new arms sales and visits to Taipei by senior U.S. officials, which have strained already poor Beijing-Washington ties. Taiwan's foreign minister said it would not give details of the talks, citing Taiwan-U.S. mutual trust and the tacit diplomatic understanding. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. India calls poultry amid fears of bird flu. Tokyo daily coronavirus cases hit record as state of emergency looms. China says it will respond to planned Taiwan-U.S. defense talks. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Moving on to development news, UNDP President Coordinator Robert Jokeman presented a copy of the UNDP Human Development Report 2020 to Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena yesterday at the Foreign Ministry. Foreign Minister Gunawardena appreciated the UNDP's cooperation with Sri Lanka and expressed his appreciation of UNDP's response to COVID-19 early interventions. He mentioned that free education and health policies of Sri Lanka, among other things, have significantly contributed to the country's achievement human development. UNDP President Coordinator Jukman complimented Sri Lanka for the progress the country has made over the 30 years that have passed since the first report. He also appreciated Sri Lanka's initiatives towards addressing the effects of climate change and commitment towards the environment protection. That came to you on Development News. Moving on to sports news. England's touring party in Sri Lanka have passed coronavirus tests, having been retested after all-rounder Moeen Ali's positive result on Monday. All of the players and staff had a lateral flow test and PCR at England's base in Hambantota. The touring party must undergo a third test tomorrow. Moeen tested positive on arrival in Sri Lanka and isolated for 10 days at the team hotel in Hambantota. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka, who lost their second test against South Africa in Johannesburg yesterday, will not face a 10-day quarantine period upon their return to the country. They will fly back on a chartered flight, and as they are transferring from one biosecure bubble to another, a quarantine period has been deemed unnecessary. They are expected to have PCR tests before being cleared to play in the 2-test series that starts in goal on 14th of this month. Quinton de Kock has described playing cricket in the time of COVID-19 as unsettling as South Africa prepare for at least 3 more bio-bubbles this summer. Next up is a visit to Pakistan, which will also include extra players of security for South Africa's first tour since 2007. With South Africa currently under level 3 restrictions and the lockdown likely to tighten in the face of the surging second wave of infections, de Kock said the situation is on the players' minds, even though there is little they can do about it. That ends sports news. Moving on to business news. Hela Clothing, by acquiring a 50% stake in Sambiri Intimates Apparel PLC from Indonesian owner Sambal Bintag Rajeke, has formed a new joint venture in East Africa to manufacture intimate products out of the Havasa Industrial Park in southern Ethiopia. The joint operation, which at full scale will employ over 3,000 people in Havasa, Ethiopia, will increase its capacity to produce close to 1 million pieces a month from 250,000 units currently. This will make it one of the largest intimate manufacturing facilities in the world, with duty-free access to US, Canada, EU and most parts of the developed Asia, including China. That ends business news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Sri Lanka's first ever fabric park will commence operations from mid next year in Airavor in Batticaloa. Board of Investment Chairman Sanjay Mohotala said it is one of the top priorities for the Board of Investment for this year. He said the 275-acre plot park, which received the cabinet approval, was planned from early 2020 and has now reached the final stage. He further said they expect around $300 million from 5 investors who have already committed for the fabric park. Mr. Mohotala said more foreign textile manufacturers will be invited to set up factories within the zone. That ends economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah,
When will be our treat, huh? Well, how about today?
Oh, no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, on to the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the northern, eastern, north central and Ubud provinces and in the Martali and Nuvareli districts. Heavy showers above 100 mm can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamu and western provinces and in the Gol and Mathura districts. That ends with the report. To wrap up the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Sri Lanka gets priority when supplying corona vaccine manufactured by India. India prepares to assist in Sri Lanka's vocational training programs. Sri Lanka and India focus on multiple areas of mutual cooperation. The Health Ministry decides on a priority list of recipients of the coronavirus vaccine. School students will be provided with uniforms for the new year as soon as the schools are opened. Foreign news, India calls poultry amid fears of bird flu. Sports news, cricket, England's touring party in Sri Lanka passes coronavirus tests. With that, we conclude the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka. And back to my good friend and yours, Chandima Veerakorn.